Oh, hello. I'm Channing King with Indianapolis Star.
What's your title, Channing? What do you go by these days?
That is a very good question.
Are you still chief technologist?
My title is whatever doesn't get me laid off.
I'm Amy Bartner, and I'm the Downtown Indie reporter, so my title has nothing to do with technology.
So we managed to get our hands on the
Not one,
but two SNES classics. So
we've got somebody who wants to be in here with us. Turn around, Joe. Lots of jealousy over what's about to happen.
So we thought we would crack it open, show you a little bit of what's inside the box. Then, since we happen to have a 70-some-odd inch TV right behind us, we thought we would throw it on and see how these wonderful 240p games scale up to a screen that size. So this has never been opened yet, so this is a fresh unboxing.
And if you can't tell, Channing is the king of all the nerds to a really technical, small, minute detail.
King of Nerds is actually a ceremonial position now. We've moved to a straight democracy.
So you guys are in for a treat because he's the real expert here, and I'm just a fangirl.
So we have, documentation, which should include probably a poster if it's like last year's. Warranty, etc., etc.
Now, did you hang your poster up somewhere?
I don't think I actually got a poster with my actual SNES when I bought it back in the 90s.
Yeah, look at that.
Now you're playing with superpower.
Oh. Can you get the magazine subscription still?
Sadly, Nintendo Power stopped publishing about 5 years ago, I want to say. It's very sad because they were actually pretty good. USB power brick, well, the plug, so we'll need that.
It's pretty intense.
We'll go this way. One Super Nintendo replica controller.
That looks very
Now-
similar.
Very similar.
But you, last year, so Channing and I bought the NES Classic last year, and it came with only one controller, and you had to purchase a separate one.
Mm-hmm.
And the cord was very, very, very short.
And actually, let me undo this one because
You've
I
been
will
told they're longer, right?
I will show you exactly how long this cable is now.
Ooh, look at that.
Well, that is longer than the NES Classic, isn't it?
And let me just step
the NES
behind you.
Classic went to about here. I mean, it was
It's
like
about a
you had
3-foot cord.
actually-
literally be sitting in front of it.
I have the NES Classic controller
Oh,
right
that's
here.
good. Okay, so we can actually test this out.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
as you
I
can
mean,
see, here, let's just stretch it out a little bit. That's,
Twice the length.
yeah. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, though, because this is an actual SNES controller. And let's just put it down here. Sorry.
That's legit the old school ones that you
Yep.
have? Those look pretty good.
So that's the original.
That is the original.
There's the
and
new. You can see.
the new, you're probably maybe 2 feet shorter cable than the original.
But is there a situation when I don't know, you probably will need a little bit longer. Certainly this is just, like, what are you doing to us, Nintendo? That's
As I've said,
Don't
I've
be
used
ridiculous.
dental floss that was longer than that. But as Amy was saying, at least this year they did include a second controller, so you don't have to hunt for the rare official second controller from Nintendo or settle for one of the really terrible third-party controllers.
which is what I got.
What did you do?
Me, I actually, the connector on both the SNES and the NES controllers is the same plug that was used for the Wii classic controllers that connected to the Wiimote. So I actually used.
Oh, that's interesting. You just use a Wiimote for it? Or
This has the same connector. So
But the whole point of having these old school controllers is that you get to feel like what it felt like when you were a kid.
Yes, and when
And this is not.
when I felt this as a kid, I felt pain.
Sharp edges.
Ergonomics have come a long way since 1986.
Yeah.
This, I mean, it is an NES controller, but that's also the negative. It's an NES controller.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the whole reason you buy it. It's nostalgia.
Nostalgia only gets you so far.
Thumb, carpal tunnel, and all.
You know, I'm 30 years older than I was at that point, so.
Let's see.
And
Oh.
It's so cute.
the miniature SNES. It even has the little slidable power buttons and the reset button. Unfortunately, the eject button doesn't really do anything because you can't put in a cartridge.
Now, are there 4 controller hookups on the front there, or did they just make it
No.
like the old? Oh, okay. So they don't connect on the front.
They don't connect on
Those
the.
are just
Well, actually, they.
pro.
Let me try to get them open here. It's one of those where I kind of wish I had fingernails.
We'll talk about how light it is too, because it's like crazy light, right?
It's very light. It's essentially just. Oh. Oops.
Do you want me to use my lady fingers on that?
No, that's okay. There we go. This thing actually just, it's a flap just
gotcha.
folds down,
Okay.
and there are jacks on the front of
Oh,
it.
yeah, okay.
So it's not, you know, as the original didn't have these, so it's not completely accurate.
Authentic.
Yeah, but again, convenience. So buried underneath at the bottom of the box, you just have a USB power cable. Nothing too special. Theoretically, if your TV has a powered USB jack on it, you actually don't even need this. You should just be able to plug the USB into your TV, and it will draw enough power to power the entire the console for what it is.
Would you call that a console?
I've thought about it, and I think so. It's more of a tchotchke, a toy, than any. It's a stocking stuffer, but it's not an Xbox One or.
Now, how soon do you think people are going to be able to get these again for $79.99 and not $200-something?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, you know more about this than I do. So we went to GameStop in the Circle Center Mall, and also it should be noted that we are not affiliated in any way with GameStop, Circle Center Mall, or Nintendo. We are just both of us nerds and wanted this. We spoke to the guy there who is also a nerd, and he said that he went to a conference and Nintendo promised him that they would be stocking more this year and it would be easier for folks to get it. Now, if that is true or not, that's a different story. So I think we'll see, but he seemed confident that it would be a better experience for people waiting in line. And Channing and I both were fortunate enough to pre-order these in August 22nd, when the pre-order opened. And when we were in line this morning before the GameStop opened at 10 a.m., there were a dozen people in line around us, and everybody except for a few people got the SNES Classic this morning. So it wasn't a super difficult experience.
Got a hookup happening over here.
Yeah, I'm trying to fight with it. It's just
Could be
it's
another
kind of
look
a,
here.
Okay, there we go. It's plugged in there.
Nice.
So that's just plugged into the HDMI.
That's just an HDMI jack standard.
Okay.
You know, I'm sure if you wanted to break it down, HDMI 2 point whatever, 1 point whatever, you could do that, but I'm not going to worry about that part. And now we just get the power cable, which there should be.
You just did the messiest unboxing in the history of unboxings.
Thank you.
You disappointed if this was going on YouTube.
You know, I'm actually going to.
That's what Channing should do. a YouTube channel called Messy Unboxings.
Yeah.
Just
And this piece of plastic.
Come on. I'm just looking for a plug.
Oh.
Well, I had been looking to see.
we are going to be on a, I'm going to guess 72-inch television here.
You think it's...
It's got to be. It might be bigger than that,
Yeah,
actually.
I
It might be
thought it was still
84, somewhere around there. But we're going to see how, like Channing said earlier, these, what are they, 240 line?
Yeah, 240 lines of resolution.
And we're going to put them on a 1080p 84-inch television and see how it looks.
Well, Channing,
It is HDMI, so it's a chance that the upscaling is pretty good.
Yeah, it's being upscaled to 1080, or excuse me, to 720p. So
Channing, you've got a huge TV at home too, and how does your Nintendo Classic fare with that?
it actually does pretty well. Let's just,
Put it on here.
we've got a power light
What? Oh my god, it works!
and
Oh, there we go.
okay. Just go turn it down.
Let's do it in French.
Turning down the volume.
We
What?
are working.
Yes,
No
we
one
are.
can hear that out there.
Alright, here you go, first
Oh,
player.
thank you. So if you managed to get an NES Classic last year, congratulations first of all. But this interface is going to be similar. You know, English.
Wow. This
is
looks great.
so good.
Down at the bottom, you
see.
can see the Super Nintendo words are kind of.
This looks fantastic up here.
Yeah.
That, I'm okay with that.
Oh, I miss F-Zero.
But it, you know, back in the box things, what comes with 21 games. 20 of them are available right from the start. To get to Star Fox.
And Star Fox 2 was never actually released, right?
Star Fox 2 was canceled like a matter of weeks before it was supposed to be released back in 1995. Why? Because it was 1995 and in late 1994, the PlayStation and the Sega Saturn both came out in Japan and were getting ready to come out in the US that year. And Star Fox and Star Fox 2, compared to that, kinda looks like ass.
I was waiting for the Channingism. There it is, there it is.
Sorry, but, you know, just going by Star Fox, I respect the heck out of Star Fox, what it tried to do. It's just, it didn't really do it very well.
So how do you unlock it?
Oh, you unlock Star Fox 2 by clearing stage 1 in Star Fox,
Oh, okay.
which is very simple, so it's not a major thing. But to be honest, there's a very good chance I just might not even bother unlocking it, because
Just
there are so many other great games on here.
Street Fighter 2.
Street
Just
Fighter
so
2
good.
Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Oh.
get it right, Joe.
Yeah, come on.
It was the first of the Street Fighter 2s on the SNES.
Well, we're obviously gonna christen this with Mario Kart, right? Like,
Do we want to go Mario
yeah,
Kart?
I mean, we gotta go Mario Kart. Like, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this.
Somebody's taking off her boots.
Choose.
I think this is getting
Do it.
serious here.
Yeah,
I mean, right?
that's an unfair competition.
Let's go.
There we go.
Come on.
Super Mario Kart.
Who are you, Yoshi or Toad? Because the answer's Toad.
They could go 2-player. Oh. Battle mode or match race?
Let's do match race first.
Is that okay? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I have to say the controller feels really good. It feels
It feels like a
The buttons push the same way as the old
Yeah.
ones do.
like they just broke out the molds and just from storage and said, "Hey, we need to make another 3 million of these. Get on it."
It looks very similar to yours.
I'll go with Yoshi.
Ah, that's a good move. Hazel little bit slipperier and slidier, but okay.
See, I played Mario Kart. Mario Circuit. Which one?
It's been so long. Let's just go for the easiest one. I'm nervous
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Oh, bottom screaming. Oh God, I'm so nervous. Oh my gosh, it's so flippy.
This act really shows off what Mode
so
7 could do
flippy.
on the SNES. It was one of the more interesting things that system could do. Basically, we're just racing on a background layer that has been angled and rotating.
And I am terrible. This is so flippy. Like, it's really hard to keep him in. Stop it!
I feel like Channing played this last night.
Yeah, like, I felt this way when I got the Nintendo Classic 2, where it was just so, like, everything was so sensitive, and even more so than I remembered it being.
Yeah.
I mean, is that right, or am I just old?
Well, to be fair, we're all, 30 years away from the NES from last year, 25 years from the SNES, so we are a little bit older, so I don't even want to think about
What year did the SNES come out?
The SNES came out in, what was it, 91?
Yeah, 91.
Yeah. I think somewhere around the summer, like June, July, 91. It came out the prior year in Japan. Change course.
Okay.
We can try one more and then...
Now, which came first, this or Genesis for 16-bit?
Genesis beat us by a couple of years. It was 89. It was 89. That was actually one of the better things Sega ever did. Was the Sega Master System was going nowhere, so they cut it short and brought out their 16-bit system instead.
No! I'm sorry, Channing. I didn't mean to interrupt your news report.
That's okay.
Oh, this is so much harder than I remember it being.
Now, Channing, I feel like recently Nintendo has gone through like a mid-90s Sega thing where they just keep replacing their consoles.
Yeah.
And they can't get it right. And then they go back to this.
Well, the Wii U was not a success, but I will always enjoy it because it had Captain Toad. Captain Toad was worth the purchase alone.
I never played Wii U. That was the one that I totally missed.
The Wii U is underappreciated, and it's their GameCube. It will, 10, 15 years from now, there will be a fan base that says, oh, do you remember the Wii U? That was so good.
So speaking of, we were kind of joking about this. Do you think there's going to be a Nintendo 64 Classic next year?
Oh, please. That would be amazing.
Next year, I don't think so. Maybe in 2019. I'm not sure enough time has passed for the Nintendo 64 to really be.
This one came out in 91, right? And
right.
No! Everything is terrible.
And the Nintendo 64 was 5 years later, 96.
Right, so I mean, that's 20 years.
I'm looking forward to the Switch Classic.
Oh, damn it. Well, the other thing to keep in mind is Nintendo has said they're bringing back the NES Classic next summer. So those of you who missed it last year, keep your eye out for sometime next year, and you may be able to find one.
So I couldn't even go out and buy it right now if I wanted to?
The NES Classic?
Yeah.
No.
How?
You could. Well, I take that you could buy it on eBay for.
I'm terrible.
Well, are you talking
It's
about
been
the
a
game?
while.
Yeah.
Now, okay.
I think Steven is dying. Oh no, he left the window, but I thought he was dying to come here.
Now here, you want to move to a different game?
Yeah.
Okay, this
Because
is
I'm losing at this one, so.
This is actually one of the downsides to the controllers for this. You know, this controller is, except for the plug and the length of cable, is pretty much identical to what the original was. To get back to the Wii U, or excuse me, the SNES Classic home front or the NES Classic, we are sitting so close, so it's not too much, but you actually have to go up and hit the reset button.
Which is only moderately annoying. I'm okay with that.
But you made fun of me. If you take out, if you replace one of these controllers with the Wii Pro controller,
Now you're too short.
That
You
Pro
have-
controller has a very short cord.
I have a fix for that.
Of course you do.
You'll see there's actually a home button here. So you can actually use this home button instead of the reset.
And that works on this too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And what I recommend for those who are buying this, you can buy extension cables, which is very useful if you don't want to have the system right in your lap. Because who would want that?
Hey guys, what's up? This is the news planning meeting.
We've been chronicling how jealous you are. All right,
That screen.
go ahead. I'll take my shoes out of here.
What am I playing?
We don't know yet.
I don't have
Okay. No, you don't. So let's see, what else do we? Let's just start with Contra.
Oh yes. Will the code work?
I was just asking him that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Should we renew our subscriptions to?
One thing to notice is if you kick back to this home menu from in the middle of a game, you can actually have save points. So you can do little save states for your game. So if you want to, bail out and go to dinner, go to work.
You don't have to pause this and hope your sister doesn't turn it off.
Right. Exactly.
Game already.
Sounds like a deeply
Yeah. I'm not saying that happened in the past, Andrea.
So Contra 3. Oops. I keep hitting B when I should be hitting A. Why did I hit that?
Mario
There
Is
we
that
go.
Super Metroid too?
Super Metroid is. Damn it!
It sounds like you don't know what you're doing.
Kart. I don't have any control whatsoever.
No.
Okay.
No, because you're player 2. You don't deserve
There we
control.
go.
There we go.
Is this yours or Shane's?
Jennings.
Back when Konami made things.
Here we go.
Metal Gear.
Okay. Yes.
Look at those
4-3.
Square lines.
Yes.
So this time.
Oh,
Now, I'm not sure how knowledgeable you all are of the rich Contra lore. This involves two guys shooting a bunch of people. So,
it's a tough story to follow.
yeah, there's depth, nuance.
That's unlike the previous countries.
Yeah. Contra 2 is actually more akin to Waiting for Guffman. The Alien
Wow, that's...
War.
This is a lot bigger on this
Yeah.
screen than when I was a kid. Wow.
It's time for revenge.
Look at those graphics!
Okay. I forget what the difference is between A and B, so let's just go with A.
Do the code.
What is it? Back, front, BA, start. Close? Anywhere?
What's that get you? Infinite lives?
I don't know. I've never actually played it. I just did.
I tried to input it, but I think I might have messed it up.
Oh, man.
How geeky you guys are.
Thank you. Okay,
I love the
died.
ads in the background, too.
I think we've got another...
We got another one joining.
Jealous serious user.
Yeah.
Our
Like Contra.
Steakhouse reporter Tony Cook has now joined us.
What the hell? It's tiny.
Did I die already?
Oh,
It sounds like it.
Yeah, I'm gone.
Wow, we suck.
That was terrible.
Let's try this again.
You know, it's only been 25 years since you played Contra.
Yeah.
Did you get the free event?
Oh, there we go.
We gotta find out if the code works.
Yeah, up, down, left, right,
B,
select,
start.
I forgot to select. I was pretty close though.
See, I was Sega, so I knew up, down, left, right, A start was infinite in Sonic.
I'm gone already. Good lord.
Yeah, let's just pretend this one didn't happen.
I relinquish my control to Tony.
We're going to delete the recording of this from the
So are
video.
these games all just in here? Is that,
Yes.
Can you buy
Pick your
other games,
poison.
or it's just
That's
Scott
it.
with Scott?
Unfortunately, you cannot add games. Let me start again. You can't technically, legally add more games to this. However, the power, slot for this is just a USB mini. It's a USB jack. With the NES Classic, you could hook it up to a computer and just reflash the ROM and add all kinds of stuff to it. People were adding
Let's give it a try, shall we?
No, we're not going to do that. Donkey Kong Country. I think this is a two-player.
It is or is not? Oh, look at that.
They might be gone too.
Rare is bought by Microsoft.
Oh, okay.
They
Okay, this looks a little pixelated
It
here.
looks pixelated, but like, the animation is
Back there, though, it would be awesome.
Yeah, if we go back,
that
that
is
far.
actually the original Donkey Kong.
If you squint.
And that is Donkey Kong Jr. grown up.
Okay. That's the original one?
it's got moves.
Yes.
Oh yeah, look at those 90s moves.
He's known as Cranky Kong in this one. But he makes references to his previous games.
So how much is this bad boy?
$79.99 if you can find it legally.
If you can find it legally.
Oh, you,
Shannon's all
okay.
about the...
Channing, why do you have to qualify everything you
I
if legal?
mean, you could legally buy it off of like eBay for $300 right now.
Yeah, I wonder what they're
Yeah.
Say retail.
Oh, I wonder what they're going for.
Oh, I think
I
have to
saw
rescue it.
Amazon was already from third-party sellers for $214.
Why does it have this old? Why does it have this original?
That's from Channing's
Are you able
NES
to move?
Classic from last year
I
to
don't
show
know.
how short the cord was.
Did I do that?
Because it's crazy short.
Did I do that? I don't know if I'm moving.
Oh man, I don't
Oh.
remember this looking this good.
This good or this bad?
It looks great. This is 1994.
This looks like the graphics in Pitfall on the Sega Genesis.
Well, from a technical standpoint, the graphics on Donkey Kong Country were interesting because they're all pre-rendered. They made them in the computer system, the Silicon Graphics workstations, and then just made flat sprites out of them. So here it looks better on the in original hardware because here you see warts that shouldn't exist that would be smoothed over by the bad 1995 fudge. 1995. But yeah, now you're playing.
Oh, so you're Junior.
No, that is Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong. Oh, I remember Diddy Kong. Bye, Tony. Just left us to go do
There you
real
go.
work.
Chomp. Don't mind me.
Does this have a power?
It's a
There
banana,
we
man.
go.
You passed them. No, that's okay. We're not going to stick around where one-ups are really that important.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's a bummer. That's sad.
Well, we gotta do our own world, right?
Okay, but
Relinquishing control.
I just have to.
But I'm too impatient.
See you, Steven.
It's like the old days.
Oh, Final Fantasy 3.
There is a very good chance this could be the greatest role-playing game ever made on a video or computer system. There,
Is that
you can make a very strong argument for that. This is actually Final Fantasy VI. but they've had to rename it, or they didn't have to, but they renamed it 3 when they brought it to America because it was the third one that we got here in the States.
How do you know so much about this?
Final
It's
Fantasy.
good history.
It is good history.
I mean, it's. Well, I don't know. How do you know about? I don't know. Do you like stuff?
No, I don't
Do you like
anything.
stuff and things?
I don't like anything.
Okay.
I don't want your backstory. Just get me into the game.
Oh, these backstories were deep too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. You know, this
Now
was
it's just a phone game where you set up like
No, actually,
guns.
they ported this to the iPhone, and I assume Android as well. They bungled it so badly because this is a gorgeous game with the sprites and this. They're kind of pixelated, but in a good way. They smoothed them over for the iOS version, and now it looks like a free Flash phone game. Oh. You know, this was a bad. Let's move to Super Mario Bros.
Okay. I mean, I didn't mean to. I don't want to take your
No.
childhood from you.
No, if you want to take my childhood, we're going to go to
That's right.
The Legend of Zelda.
All right.
Shh. That may be.
Look at his face. Look how happy he is.
I'm sorry, but that's. I can tell you within a matter of yards where that always takes me back. It's my friend's apartment over at Eagle Creek, just west of the 465. He worked at Montgomery Ward's. I worked at Toys R Us.
Oh my god.
He gave me and our other friend keys to his apartment. We would go there whenever he wasn't around. He had a SNES hooked up to an actual good sound system, and this was the first time I think I ever really experienced great stereo sound on a video game. It's like, oh.
And the stock sound system on this 9,000-inch Sharp TV is better than that, right?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, the sound chip, weirdly enough, the sound on the Super Nintendo is actually made, the sound chips were made by Sony. The guy who designed them, or led the design of them, was Ken Kutaragi, who went on to lead the development of the PlayStation and PlayStation 2. So that's actually what my Facebook photo is, right? Or my Facebook profile picture is now, is of the SNES sound chip.
Ah, I never knew what that was.
Yeah, it's. Whoops. No.
So you're just calling yourself Zelda?
It's.
I mean, that seems a little on the nose, doesn't it?
I just have to get to the. We just have to get to the overworld and hear the theme, and then we can bail out. The music in this game is probably 50% of the impact. Breath of the Wild is really good on the Switch, but no, this is still the best Legend of Zelda game. Ocarina is really good too, but
So now, are you gonna play all this when you get home, or are you just gonna? What are you gonna do with these?
Tonight, actually, well, Cuphead came out today, so I'm going to actually try Cuphead first.
What's Cuphead? That sounds.
Cuphead is a lot like Contra, which you just saw, except it's based on early 1930s animation. Oh, they are going to make me have to go to the castle to do stuff. So let's just leave.
Got a good look at it.
Yeah, it's the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. It's
All right, let's give people what they want.
Mario?
Mario.
Yeah.
okay.
Now, Mario.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yes.
Oh, this game was so good.
Yeah, this. I know you love Super Mario 3.
I do love Super Mario 3.
Super Mario 3, hell of a game.
But that's also because I did not have a Super Nintendo growing up, so...
Okay.
Was 3 the one that was originally a different game? And
No,
they
that
made
was-
it
that
like
was
the
2.
Prince or whatever? Yeah, and it had the beets or whatever they were, the turnips.
Yep, it was Fumi Koji Doki Doki Panic.
Obviously, Joe.
I mean, come on. How did I not know that right on?
Yes! This makes me so happy!
I think we.
This
all
is a
did.
lot of reading for 2017.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is,
TLDR.
like the NES Classic, you actually get. They don't put the manuals on here, but they give you QR codes that you can scan with your phone, and you can get reproductions of the original manuals.
Man, I don't know. If I didn't want to read it when I was
Oh-ho.
9, I certainly don't want to read it when I'm 34. Wow. Well.
My fingers are kind of old,
Okay, so
so you can move left, you can move right.
it doesn't look like I'm even moving. Oh, there it goes.
There we go.
Well, was that a bug?
It's a
in your system?
Luigi!
Yeah, I don't even know what things do. I want that thing.
You hold down Y to run, and then of course run gives you a farther jump,
Yeah.
There we go.
and then B jumps and A spins.
I want you. No. Okay. No.
That pound sound whenever you spin jump and crush something is just
Satisfying.
yeah.
See, where I get in trouble is I always run. I'm too impatient.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay.
No, I don't
okay.
want to put pressure on you. You have time limit, you know.
Okay. The clock is already on there. I can.
Did
I
this
don't
also
need
end
you.
with a flagpole?
I need that. What's that?
That is your halfway marker.
Oh, okay.
More reading.
No. Okay.
What were you asking, Joe?
Does this also end at a flagpole for each one? I can't
It
remember.
doesn't use flagpoles, but it uses.
I jumped into it.
Yeah, you jump into it. It uses more like football goalposts, where the horizontal bar moves up and down.
Ah, right. It's
Some
been a
people-
while.
That's okay. Oh, we need to go up here just to free up the.
Oh, so you end up where I'm at. My halfway point, right?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Now, Channing, are there any games on this where, say someone has a super scope sitting around, that would work?
No, because unfortunately most light gun technology doesn't
Oh.
work on modern TVs because of the. I missed it. Damn
You
it.
did. Yeah, you did. You really missed that.
You know, I'm not sure if it's the user or the controller, but this feels a little laggy.
I thought the same about the NES too.
Okay.
And I
There
don't know
is-
again if it's just us.
There is a chance. We actually need to look at. See, there's the.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
don't know.
Okay, I missed it, but that's
So
okay.
you might be laggy, or the
Yeah.
controller might be laggy.
Right.
Little column A, little column B.
You know, ideally, we would go into the menus and make sure that all the post-processing effects that the TV does to the signal get turned off. It's what's called game mode.
Hmm.
So you get as close to a.
I would think
Ow.
with a corded one, you would eliminate a lot of the.
Well, it's.
It's taking me like you see that, right?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Oh, I'm controlling.
Okay. Well, maybe,
Why am I controlling?
maybe that's how that works. I don't know. But that's weird because I'm obviously playing it,
Are you
right?
controlling now?
Nope.
I mean, the smart thing would be to turn this giant conference room's TV on game mode all the time.
I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like it should be anyway.
I didn't mean to hijack your game.
Well, you did.
Darn. If only
I've
this,
only been waiting hours to do this.
if only this were a game I liked. And there's Yoshi.
Yeah, Yoshi.
What was it? T Yoshi, Yoshi Source Munchakoopa, something like that. He has an official stupid name.
Is this the first time that we see Yoshi?
I believe it is. I'm trying to remember if this. Yeah, there was an NES Yoshi game. Get back here. There was
You
an
gotta
NES,
run after Yoshi.
but I think it came out after this. It was a late. NES title.
He seems very trained when you're on him, but as soon as you get off, it's
Yeah.
like he is just an untrained wild animal.
There was a story within the past day or so. Apparently, Nintendo confirms that when Yoshi's sticking out his tongue like that, Mario, or in this case Luigi, is actually hitting Yoshi in the back of the head.
Oh, look at that!
Before there had been a theory that that Mario was just saying, pointing, going, "Hey, attack that."
There's 1994 animal cruelty right there.
Animal abuse. How do you get off of him?
A button.
Oh, there he's waiting. It's just if you fall off,
Yes.
he runs away.
If you get hit, he loses it.
I don't want to make you nervous, but you've got a clock, Jenny.
Sound familiar?
Oh no!
Oh, he is in the wrong place.
No. Fine.
I mean, you actually are okay on time. I was just, doing my old-timey...
Now, does this have a way to make it 16:9, or is it just going to be 4:3? It'd be a stretch, though, right?
You can't actually, within the system, you can't tell it to go 16 by 9, but
So my Mario now? What happened?
I'm not sure, but I'm going to bail out of this, because that's not quite fair.
That's very noble of you.
No, let's see, menu. You can
Yeah,
go
let's see
into-
what's under the menus here so people can see.
Yeah, we've been playing in the default 4x3. There is also what's called Pixel Perfect.
What's that?
The SNES output what was essentially a square image. The pixels were all squares. And then your TV at the time
Oh, I see it. Mario's a little bit fatter.
didn't quite know what to do with it, so it actually stretched it out when it projected it. But this is what's being put out by the CPU and the graphics processor. But this is really how you'll play. Then there's the CRT filter if you hate yourself.
Yeah, you just put lines on top of it, basically.
Yeah, there has never really been a good CRT filter in any type of old style game.
They didn't look like that.
No, they didn't.
Unless you had a bad CRT, like...
Yeah, if your CRT was about to blow out for some reason.
Yeah.
And these frames down here, that's kind of cool. I don't know that that's anything that we'd ever use, but...
Let me just go back down here and select one. So yeah, you can see what you can choose an assortment of borders, almost like the old Super Game Boy for the SNES.
Oh, for around the edge there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's distracting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks very Matrixy there.
I was thinking Tron, but yeah.
Yeah.
And-
And more light cycles.
I've read about this one, even though it displays as green right there, it apparently changes color based on, it pulls a random color from whatever's on the screen.
Oh, okay.
So the grid will, change
cool.
to blue, purple, what have you.
Where'd you learn that?
School.
What are the other menus that we have?
Let's
So this is under display.
This is display. Then we have options. My gameplay demo. You may have noticed it when we were first starting up, that after a while the system just started playing footage of a game. If you toggle the My Gameplay demo to turn it on, that footage that displays is your gameplay. It's stuff, it's your mistakes. You gotta take credit for it. Classic demo.
Amy Gardner's excellent driving around the
Yeah.
Mario Kart track.
It's just forever on Channing's.
I'm not sure what classic demo does, but it's probably tied into that as well. And then screen burn-in, probably a screensaver where it starts to lower the levels if you leave it idle for too long. Most modern TVs shouldn't have that issue though, because
So if you have like a rear projection still.
yeah, if you or like an early plasma.
Mm-hmm.
Language, we did this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We're going English.
Seems like a good choice.
Legal notices.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, this is the fun part. This is using open source.
Fun part.
This is using free software just plucked off the internet. God bless them. I mean, you think a multi-billion-dollar corporation would do something, custom, but, and I'm sure this is customized somewhat, but they, got like Linux and just fixed it. And then all kinds of copyright information because not everything here is published by Nintendo, so they need their credit.
Was that how it was on the NES? Were those all Nintendo games? Instead, this has like Konami and...
The NES Classic had, let me see, it was 30 games total. 17 of them were were published by Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
The other 13 were published by Namco, Square, Konami, other third parties. So, yeah, it had a credits menu just like this. Except it said 2016. But you knew that. And then manual. Here's the manual section.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this is available on the website right now, so you don't actually need to scan it, but you can just go there, and it has scanned in copies of all the manuals. It even has the original Earthbound hint book that came with the game. Earthbound was a really neat package.
And Earthbound isn't on this?
Earthbound is on this.
I haven't played that one before.
It's a role-playing game.
Why don't we go through the games really quick?
Okay.
Just see what all is on here.
Okay, let's just start with, I think alphabetically we started with Contra.
There we go.
So, Contra 3, The Alien Wars, Donkey Kong Country, Final Fantasy 3, also known as Final Fantasy 6, Kirby Superstar,
Good one.
Kirby's Dream Course, which is more fun than I hate to admit, Secret of Mana, which sadly is only 2-player on this because on the original you could play 3-player, which was just fantastic. Street Fighter 2 Turbo. It may also be credited Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, but it's the same game. Super Mario Kart.
And this is the first time we see Super Mario Kart, correct?
Yes, this is the first Super Mario Kart. Super Mario World. Earthbound. I'm not sure what alphabet they're using to go from Super to Earthbound. F-Zero. Mega Man 10, or excuse me, Mega Man X. Mega Man 10. No, Mega Man, this was the first of the Mega Man X series that bumped the timeline up a couple hundred years. There was a different robot. Star Fox and Star Fox 2. Super Castlevania 4. The best of the pre-Symphony of the Nights. Well, the best of the pre-Rondo of Bloods.
If that means something to you.
Yeah. Rondo of Blood, TurboGrafx, fantastic. Symphony of the Night is a direct sequel to it. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, pain in the ass. I mean, it's hard. And then to complete it entirely, you have to play it twice.
Oh, wow.
Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, developed by Square. Super Metroid, which I'm having a hard time resisting right now.
Great game.
Super Punch-Out.
Great game.
Great game. Although I'm curious how it's going to play with all the post-processing effects of the TV. Because it was... At this point, Super Punch-Out is really a rhythm game.
Mm-hmm.
So I would imagine milliseconds are going to throw you off. The Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past. And Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Which may or may not actually be Super Mario World 2, but there's debate about whether it was or not. Some people say that it was brought over with that title just to cash in.
It's a good lineup. I only know about half of them.
Oh, they're great games.
Yeah.
The only weak ones on here, I would say, are you could do without one of the Kirby games. If you could get rid of one of the Kirby games and bring in Chrono Trigger, this would be perfect. And then if you wanted to, say, get rid of Star Fox and bring in ActRaiser, I would agree with that too.
Star Fox isn't a good game?
Yeah. I came to Star Fox at the wrong time because it was right around the same time that I started playing X-Wing and the TIE Fighter series on PC, which were flying simulators that were so much better.
So if I come to this cold, it'll be fine, right?
If you don't mind games playing really, really slowly.
I I do mind that.
It's
I can't function with that.
yeah, it's like 10 frames a second.
You think it'll be like me in Mario Kart, just wiggling around?
Well,
Can't control it?
you're on a rail, so you can't go too far off course.
Oh, good. Oh,
So-
good. Thank God.
Well, I think that is about it for the SNES Classic. Um,
Now I'm gonna go home and play mine. This hard work day is over.
yeah, it's like, boy, what am I going to do now for the next hour or so? Huh.
Well, thank you guys for joining us, and we hope that you get your hands on one if you want one. As we said earlier, we are not affiliated or sponsoring or anything with Circle Center Mall, GameStop, or Nintendo. We just are.
We just
huge
like to
fans.
play 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep checking the stores. Best of luck to you.